All right, Lee wins. He dropped the U.S. production to below the Confederate production, and that means game over. How'd it happen? Well, because I was stupid as the Union. Basically, if I had left a unit in Baltimore, it could not have happened. I didn't realize how close it was to being over. But leaving a unit there would probably mean that unit gets attacked. It would have made for an interesting battle going on in Maryland area. Lee was able to take one move from Harper's Ferry, and then a second move, entrenched most of his units, moved one there, dropped the cav over there, and he had 5 moves. 2 more moves allow a cav unit to jump boing boing and grab one last victory point city. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Yeah, he could have played it out more and reversed that. I don't really mind having made the mistake. It's a cool thing to have seen. And I don't know how much more I'm going to learn about the game at this point. Hey, so for House Divided, I can see why it's so popular. It's a really nice level for this kind of game. Soldier King didn't feel this good. But for a nice little 2-player game that you can set up, and, I would guess probably 4 hours, you could probably play the campaign once you're used to it. Just a guess, it may be a little longer. It's so small, you could bring it to a coffee shop and play it there, and maybe scribble down locations of items so that you can pick it up and play it later if you don't want to play the whole thing while you're out or whatever. But I've certainly brought bigger things to a coffee house, so I wouldn't see this as an unreasonable way to bring people exposure to wargaming in general. It plays relatively well. It's not terribly a historical feeling. I feel like you're making the same decisions and you're seeing the same kind of actions taking place that you would see in the Victory Games game. But at a much, much higher level. And that feels nice. Like Hitler's War, although this is definitely simpler than that, brings World War II in Europe from the Third Reich level down to a somewhat more playable and enjoyable level for a short and a smaller game. I'm not going to say, it doesn't replace the bigger game. It's just another way of looking at very much the same kind of decision making. I think it's pretty damn good for what it is. Component-wise, I'm assuming the new versions are better components. This is back in the era where they were playing with puzzle maps, and hopefully those have gone away and died because mine are all warped. The pieces, they're okay. If you noticed, I played with everything backwards on the hit side to begin with, just because I like my pieces to be face up, and I kind of like the dark print better. It's kind of hard to see, though, on the dark print, and I can see why you would want to play with the white print showing, to tell you the truth. Especially with my old eyes, my stupid, I had a bad experience with my eye doctor, and I'm trying to see. Rules are light. I think they're presented at a reasonable level for such light rules. I wouldn't mind seeing them in a different version, like an SPI type version, but they don't hurt here. You can get away with more informal rule structure with a light game like this. Balance? My guess is it's actually fairly balanced. Probably not actually. I would think, looking at the victory conditions and what you have to do, I think a more careful Union player can probably force a victory most of the time. But it's hard to tell. Attacks, there's a decent amount of luck when you attack. So this is the one thing I don't like about the game. Not the luck, I like luck. There's a lot of die rolling. Every battle, you're trying to roll, and especially when there's entrenchments or militia trying to shoot at each other, the chances of hitting are really, really low. And that means you wear your arm out trying to fight battles. Most of the battles I fought haven't been that big, but when you get to 2 or 3 day battles with a lot of crap in them, it takes a long time. But there isn't a lot of other stuff going on in the game, so it's not like La Grande Guerre, where the naval system just makes me ill. It's more like an Axis and Allies or something where it doesn't feel that bad to roll that many dice, that much maybe. I don't know. I'm certainly less unhappy with it in a lighter game than I am in a heavy game. So that's about it. I'm tempted to give this an 8 because I think for the level that it is, it does a tremendous job. I don't want to give it higher, partially because of the balance issue, definitely because I haven't played it very much. But I think it's a pretty good game for what it is, and I can see why it was such a fuss when it was made.